What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of AirBehr Chats featuring Gutex, the man from Cross Counter himself. And last time we were talking a bit about Canada Cup and some stories, and we were about to get into a topic with our Kappa's hero, Pepedai. Aaron, tell me about Pepedai, because you're one of the few people who can communicate with him.
Right. So, well, let's talk about how Pepedai, like his top 4.
Yeah.
Same thing. He has Evil Ryu as number 1, and he has Yun, Seth, and Ibuki. So you guys might wonder why Seth, but honestly, when the game came out for 2 days, and I played around with all the characters, I actually made a tweet saying that Seth is definitely top 5.
Is this when Ultra first dropped, or 1.04?
1.0 for first drop.
Okay.
What did they change about Seth?
The health.
How much does he have now?
50. 850
So he has
total.
850 total.
Yeah.
I think that's the same as Akuma now.
That is a very big difference.
Like, why would I put him in top 5? Because he barely has any bad matchups, right? And that health, he just gets more and more health, every
update.
Every update, he just gets more health.
Yeah.
And like,
because you don't really, I think that from a balance standpoint is like, they can't give him any more tools.
right.
So like, they're just like, oh, well, let's just,
tools,
let's give him
everything.
a little bit more health to kind of
balance things out,
balance
but
things
then
out,
I think that's a little bit too much. Like the female characters, they have like 900. That's a 50. I mean, 50 is a lot. People don't realize it's actually a lot.
Yeah.
So the buff for Seth is actually a lot. At 50, he does a lot of damage, stun.
Yeah.
And he has everything. So I was put him in my top 5. I don't know if it's Punko that we lost to at Canada Cup that makes us think that, but I think in general, I always think Seth is a very strong character.
Yeah.
It just really depends on the player's skills.
Yeah. But he is a very like rare character, right? Like all we've seen is like Punko and online Tony and maybe some online Xbox Live warriors who do really well with Seth, but we don't really see him too often,
Yeah, it definitely requires a lot of player skills.
Yeah.
That's why.
So, I don't know. I really don't know what it is about Seth, but...
One thing I'm curious, oh, never mind. It was Evil Ryu, Rolento, Ibuki. Okay,
That was Kasunokos.
got it. Okay, never mind. I thought I saw Elena in there somewhere.
No.
Okay,
So,
never mind.
Kasunoko did not put Yin in the top 5.
Of course not.
No, because you know why?
Kasunoko.
No, you know why he didn't put that? He only mentioned top 4. He think the 5th one might be Yin, but they did not have a 5th because there's so many characters that can take the 5th place. But Daigo himself said Yin is not even in top 10.
Really?
And then Kasunoko, I was like, when he told me that, I was like, come on guys, no way.
Yeah.
Like Yin, how is he not like top 3, And then Kazunoko's like, so you're doubting the best player in the world's word? You're doubting Daigo's word? That's what he said. So he's actually really funny and talkative.
Huh.
That's...
So, yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yin is definitely top 3. The top 5, okay.
The problem
Top
with
5 I think is more reasonable.
Right.
But I don't know,
Top
like
five
top
for
3 I think is very arguable, right? It's like... I don't know.
The problem with Yun is that he just feels like he's the best when you lose to him, but you don't see him winning all the tournaments.
There's only Kasunoko
It's
doing
only
work.
Kasunoko, yeah.
The character is definitely not as... He's really good, but he's not as easy as everyone think he is.
No,
He was maybe
definitely not.
easy in AE, like vanilla AE.
Even in
but-
vanilla, I don't think it was super easy too,
Yeah, but I mean the dive kick height was just ridiculous.
right,
Everyone was able to
right.
get in and do stupid stuff, but then as the character kind of progressed, you kind of had to think with them more and like time your dive kicks to be a lot deeper and everything, and that itself kind of made Yun a more technical character.
Correct. And I think
in
now
some
that the lunge punch has been nerfed to -1 on block, I think that becomes like a 50-50 situation when you do that lunge punch. Instead of making it a plus, like doing it brainlessly.
Yeah.
So I think that affects a lot. Even though I don't think Yin has a lot of bad matchups, that's why he's still a very, very... Like, he's capable to be in the top 5.
Yeah.
That's what I think. He can beat every character. And some characters he can just destroy them, like Thousand, like...
He beats Akuma too, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this version, he thinks it's even.
Oh, he thinks it's even.
Probably because of Takedo, with those crazy techs.
Yeah.
But anyways, so let's talk about some stories.
Look at that.
event.
I haven't seen Aaron this excited in a while, man.
So you know
he's got these notes on his phone about whatever stories he's got. Bring it to us.
It's not like super funny, but then I think it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
So let's talk about. I have too many here, but they're not too long. Since we're talking about the tier list, so you know how the Topanga guys, all those like Fudo, Bonchan,
Yep.
they rated Fruite top 10. And Pepe was like,
No.
he was so against it because he was so happy that his character was always the top tier. I mean, low tier.
Yeah.
And now suddenly it became a top tier. Then he was like, why? You know, he was very proud of his skills.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the Topanga guys, which are like the best in the world, rated that character the top 10. He was like, no way. He was like, Kasunoko, what do you think? He was like, what do you think? Like, no way, you're one of the guys, what do you think? He was like, top 8.
Oh.
And then he came to me, hey, what do you think? No way. Then I was like, I actually think he's he's top 10. I actually said that. I feel like that.
Yeah.
Because the damage is so ridiculous. And but honestly, when Kasunoko was like, okay, to be honest, this is your own fault. You are the one who made the tier go up.
Yeah.
Nobody would have thought you can play him like that.
Exactly.
And it was Pepe Day who...
And I think Pepe Day should look at that as a compliment.
Exactly.
You know, he should look at it like, hey, I am the best with this character. I'm the one who brought them to this level.
That's what I said. I was like, it's a compliment.
It's a compliment.
But then he was like, he still wants to believe the character is like in a super low tier to make himself feel better.
The character may have been low tier before.
Yeah.
And he's just been playing him for that long. So he started as low tier.
Exactly.
And then the buffs made him
but
upper mid tier or high tier.
He definitely knows that, but he probably does not want to admit the fact that he's really good right now.
He's very modest, right? He's very modest.
Nobody can play him well like him.
No, no one.
That's why he thinks it's his skills rather than the character. But I think it's both. You know,
it's definitely both.
Without these like buffs, like the options, he couldn't play him like that, right? So,
I'm really curious to see like if Fuerte doesn't end up in Street Fighter V. I want to see like what character.
I don't want him in Street Fighter. Please remove him. I beg you, Capcom.
What? I'm a fan, guys.
He's not playing Street Fighter.
He's not.
He came from the King of Fighters or like I don't know, like those Gundam games, you know.
He came from.
He just came and ruined the game, and we have to do all the guessing. We have to gamble with this guy. Why?
Almost all of the Street Fighter 4 characters, you have to play their game.
I think so.
Yeah, they just
Viper is in that same boat.
Whatever they want, and you just have to deal with it.
But I don't mind, like, I mean, probably I'm used to it, but then, freaking, I mind so much. Because he just goes everywhere on the screen, you know? I'll be like...
You need a character that can fight him. You need a Street Fighter 4 character to fight Fuerte.
I need Yin.
Need Dudley to fight Fuerte.
Dudley or Yin. Yeah. I would prefer Yin, because I have a way to just get in so quick.
Yeah. I think Pepe I was saying it was like a 7-3 matchup or so. He absolutely hates.
Oh yeah, it kills him in like 2 combos.
It does, yeah.
So, I think a lot of people in the fighting games have always been asking why Daigo doesn't counterpick, let's say, F-Chan at EVO, you know, EVO or even against Xian at Capcom Cup. I had that conversation with Pepe Dai and Kasunoko. You know what they said? It's like, that's our culture.
Really?
That's the first thing he said.
So is it like it's a respect thing?
No, it's a respect thing,
or and just like the one character to death.
No, they think their pride is more important than a victory. Wow. That's what they said. That's why they have players with a very low tier character, and they can maximize their strength. You know, and that's. Pepe Dai's like, that's our culture. Even though we know this matchup is super hard, we'll work our way and try to win it.
Yeah.
And I do believe that's how their scene is so strong, because when you play against every matchup that
and you have the character so well,
they're using at their maximum strength.
Yeah.
And you be like, wow, when you can do this, and you start thinking, right? But honestly, okay, so they were like, you know, a lot of players in general. Okay, he actually mentioned Xiao Hai was very boring. because all he does is counterpick.
Oh yeah.
And they're also
That is very
like Ran Hart, those kind of players. I have nothing against them, but then the Japanese don't like that style because they're all they're doing is just counterpick.
I think a lot of people, even in North America, are sometimes not fans of it because, like, let's say if Pepidai did go to like, I don't know, someone to counterpick Yun, I think a lot of people would be really upset to see that. You know, I think the Kappa community would be like, they'd be a little bit upset, you know, regardless, because, you know, without getting into it, we'll probably get into it into the next episode. You know, there is one more player that actually didn't end up doing something at Master Series because of the whole pride situation. So, until the next episode of AirBehr Dojo, we'll close it out here, and next time we'll talk about that specific player.